had somebody ask me on Google Plus, Jonathan Bennett, asked me about the saved files on the Bacharach software, and I honestly didn't have a good answer for him. He asked me how they were managed. So the best that this thing will do, from what I've noticed, is I plugged in my USB to the Bacharach, got him turned on, and I got the software up. And what I did was, I noticed there is a test IDs. Clicked on that. I'm sorry, save measurements. There we go. Save measurements. So what I had to do was, when I wanted to save it, this was all clear, and I had to hit browse. So I went to a spot on the computer on my desktop, and I made a folder called Bacharach, and opened up the folder, and it wanted me to save. So I put test measurements. So I saved it, told it to save, and then I hit retrieve, and it flashed real quick, and it left a file there. That file is right here. Test measurements. Well, it throws it into a CSV file, which is an Excel. So it gives you an Excel file. So what I did was I opened it up, and it gives you a long list all the way to L. Now you can save this if you've got a more updated version of Excel. You can actually there. It saves a long line, and change that. In order to make these a little more legible, you have to adjust some of your Excel windows. You have to kind of play around with this. I mean, this is the first time I've done this, so this has nothing in it, so I'm going to delete that entire row. Move it all over. This shows your delta T if you have it. I don't have the sensor in order to do delta T, and the ambient air honestly is kind of a bogus. I don't have an ambient air sensor. So, but I'm going to leave all this in here. What I'm going to do is you need to go to your page layout, change orientation to landscape, change your margins to narrow. And then what I want to do is, since this is like one page right here, I'm going to take all this, select it, cut it, go about 2 spaces down, paste it, and there it is. Now what that'll do, hopefully, I'm going to save that as a PDF. I'm going to call it test measurements, publish it, and there's what you're left with. You got one page, and it shows you. It's not the best format in the world, I'll grant you that, but if you want to save it as a PDF and then send it to whoever, that's what you would have to do. You have your date, all your numbers, you know, gas, fuel, oil, your O2 readings, parts per million, air free, your efficiency, your carbon dioxide, excess air, stack temp, your ambient air if you've got the proper sensor. Like I said, it's kind of it just gets those numbers, and they're kind of bogus right now. I don't have a sensor on it. Got your delta T, which I don't have that set up yet. I don't have an O2 reference. I'm using Fahrenheit as my temperature, and that shows, you know, that's actually the The UV5061 is the Insight Plus, and it shows that I'm measuring inches in water column, and the username. And that's one way to manage it. You could take those numbers and you could put them in different order, move them around on an Excel, however you would like to do it, and then save it as a PDF. But as far as the unit itself, you can't from the unit send anything anywhere. You have to hook it in through the FireRite software and manage it this way. Save it as a CSV file, open it up with Excel, manipulate it, and put the numbers and the data however you want. I believe this will hold up to 100 test measurements. You can only save 10 test IDs. In other words, if you have 10 customers, you can pre-enter their test IDs with the Bacharach software by hitting test ID, and then you could put in I'm going to have to find out how to delete the test IDs. It's not letting me delete them. Ah. So in order to change a test ID, you actually have to delete, highlight the empty spaces. Usually there would be a name, so like right here, what you would have to do, you highlight, delete, highlight, delete, then set, and then you can go back in and retype the information. You can't just backspace, you can't just clear the line and clear it and set it. You actually have to go in there and delete it, or it won't let, it'll just act like there's something there and there's not. And I actually have an ARCO Error 80 Plus, and it is a 2-stage. So now I've got my IDs set as, you know, name, brand, what it is, 80 plus, and it's a 2-stage gas valve, whatever information you want. So kind of drawn out on the fly on trying to get this information figured out, but like I said, I've messed with this a little bit. I did change my logo again, changed it to a more simpler logo. The other one, Print Now, is just a little design, just a little bit much. I want to save a little ink. I made it simple. But to answer Jonathan Bennett's original question, there's nothing simple on this unit that you can do from here to send yourself files. You have to plug it into the software on a PC. You have to save it as a CSV file on your desktop. You need an Excel program or something similar. Can't remember the freeware version. Software program that has like the spreadsheet and the word processor. But you have to have a spreadsheet program in order to open it, manipulate it, and then something to Excel. Microsoft Office, the version I have, has the PDF publish availability on it. Not all programs have that, but if you want to save it as a PDF, you'd have to be able to have something like that in order to get it done, so you could either send the measurements to somebody or keep them on an electronic file folder, if you would. So that is the information on how to save the information from your Bacharach to an Excel to a PDF. Not always simple, but once you get used to it, you ought to be able to manipulate it and make it pretty easy to work for you. I hope, Jonathan, that this has helped out a little bit. If I rambled on, I apologize, but having that little issue with the test IDs kind of threw a little wrench into the video, but there you go. There's a real world problem for you and found the solution to it. Thanks for watching, guys.